Hi guys, today we're making the Mistress of Evil herself. We're starting out by using black sculpted clay, primo, sage, and purple. These are my favorite colors. Well, green and purple are my favorite. So we start by cutting the wire and twisting it into an even twist so we can make a base for our Maleficent. We want to get the best shape for the foundation as possible, even though, as you guys will see later on, I completely mess it up. But we start with this aluminum foil, or aluminium if you're from the UK. I'm using a ball tool to smooth it all out and add some potential fabric folds, but you'll see later it didn't work out. And then I slather some sculpted bacon bond to add the polymer clay, so that way it adheres to the aluminum. And I'm starting to just drape the clay on there. There's not really any rhyme or reason, just kind of put it on there and start squishing it all around. And then using a ball tool, I'm just smoothing out some of those seams that I created with the clumps of clay to create a smooth base. Then I'm going to try to add some arms. I should have poked through with a Dremel tool or something else. So enjoy while I struggle. I finally used a pokey tool to poke a hole through the aluminum, and then I made some wire arms for little Miss Maleficent. Then I gave her the weirdest shape possible for her arms. She literally looks like a weird T-Rex looking thing. But I try to fix it later on. Don't worry, I fixed it. Sure. Next, you want to start adding some sleeves to her beautiful self. So yeah, we're just adding some sleeves, giving her some shoulders, because no one needs to not have shoulders, you know? She needs to have structure in her life, more than me. Yeah, then I shot her through the head. I'm just kidding. Then I poked her through the, I'm just kidding. I made a hole in her aluminum foil head. Don't mind my ugly fingernails where black clay got stuck underneath and it was hard to get out. But this is going to be the base for her horns, or her, yeah, I guess they're her horns because she's a dragon. I'm just adding some aluminum to shape the horns as best of a horn shape as possible. And then we're just gonna keep on horn shaping the horns. I feel like Maleficent is one of the most misunderstood villains. I don't even think she's a villain. I think she just got mad that they didn't invite her to a party. Like, come on, no one likes to be left out. Anyways, we just keep on adding some black clay all over her horns, which later I destroy, so don't worry. Then I make this beautiful, just kidding. It's all right. It needed work, but I made this collar with aluminum foil. Later, you'll see that this was all in vain, and I ended up having to destroy it. But we'll get to that point sooner rather than later. So I add the purple because I was impatient, and I'm trying to make her collar as pretty as possible because I was dreading making the face, which is the next part. So the face was, I'm not the best sculptor, so I added some sage green primo sculpey clay, and I started by smoothing it out and making the pointy chin and her little nose. The nose was literally the hardest part because she has such a pretty nose. I think her nose is pretty, but she has like a very hard nose to sculpt because it's very thin. Yeah, and then I added these cheeks, which I don't know. They're kind of giving, you know, that guy? Yeah, that guy. Then I added some lips, rolled out some tiny amount of pink clay, and then just kind of tried to not give her any, you know, botched lip job. And then I tried to shape it as best I could. And yeah, so it's going. I totally didn't film the eyelids, eyebrows, and eyelashes because I got so into sculpting that I forgot to record. So, sorry. Then I'm adding her, I guess it's like her collar, like part of her collar. Like it's a really high turtleneck that extends into a, what would you call it? Like a headpiece? I don't know. She looks cool, but she kind of looks like a nun. Well, maybe not a nun. Like the old school nuns. You know what I'm talking about? Anyways, then I start cutting her head after it's baked because it didn't really fit the body that I made. And I felt like I was a freaking horseshoe person, horseshoe trimmer. And epic foreshadowing, I didn't hurt myself with a knife. So I just keep on trimming as best as I can to try to fit the aluminum base that I had made. And then this is where I said that collar that I made, yeah, that was pointless because I had to cut it all off. So here I am with knives, sharp, my X-Acto knife, giving Marie Antoinette vibes, decapitating her. And then, yeah, just undoing all my hard work that I did earlier. And yeah, totally didn't cut myself. I was hoping to reuse the horns, so instead of like just completely destroying them, I tried to cut it with a pair of pliers, and you can see me struggle. It was a struggle, and Maleficent's little face was judging me in the background, and I was like, "Girl, I'm trying to to make it fit, make it work," and she's so totally judging me. Then I finally got to a point where I was like, okay, she looks okay. She doesn't have a huge head. And then I'm using some fresh clay on the baked clay to just smooth it all out. And oops, sorry, frog. Anyways, and then I'm adding her dragon spikes. I think they're her dragon spikes. And trying to make her horns. I forgot to add lines and ridges, so sorry. I'm adding them now. Which, to be fair, it made the horns bulkier than I had originally wanted. But is it that bad? Bulk? Is bulk bad? I mean, people that go to the gym, they bulk, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so then I'm just trying to smooth them out as best as I can with this brush that I don't even know. Well, the handle of the brush that I don't even know where I got from somewhere. And just trying my best to give her some ridges like a dragon would have, because I've seen many dragons in my life. And then I'm using this tool. It's like a rake tool. I don't know what to call it. No, not that rake. And then just, giving her as much texture as possible. Then I tried my best attempt at sculpting a hand. It failed epically. It looks like a gardening glove, but I tried. And yeah, then I moved on to the collar again, redoing my work. But this time I added wire because I'm smart. Then I gave her the purple, which I was so excited for. And I didn't film it, but I gave her way more drapey vibes with the black. And then I'm just trying to smooth the seams instead of, I don't know why I just didn't cut like a whole piece. Look, I'm learning how to sculpt. Your girl is trying, I promise. Then I was like, well, let me give her a yellow staff instead of trying to use like a stick. So I don't know why I didn't use a stick. Could have used a cuticle pusher or something. But instead I decided to go the hard route and use wire, twist it, wrap it in clay, and then smooth it all out by rolling it on the glass surface. And it kind of worked, I think. And I didn't like the purple, and I think I like it more now that I'm looking at it, but I ended up painting it because, then I gave the girl some manicures. Just on the one hand that you could see. It's giving glove vibes. Then I was like, well, what can I use for her staff? I used a bead, a yellow bead. It's pretty. And I painted it to look like a rusty staff because, yeah. And I course, I had to give your girl some eyeshadow. You can't just like not give the girl eyeshadow, you know, especially with them huge eyelids that my sister said were huge. Then I decided to add a base because I was like, well, she looks kind of like she needs somewhere to live. So I decided to go for the spiral staircase that you saw in that Maleficent picture where she was laughing at me. And then I just used some cardboard and hot glue, and then I lined it with white paper. I don't know why. Probably to give the ridges like a smoother texture. And then I was like, well, I have this gesso. Let me just randomly start using the gesso. And I was like, well, let me just smother it in gray paint to try to give it that bricky texture. I could have just put the paint in the gesso, but you know, I'm learning. And then I drew stairs. Never done that before. Curved stairs. Now we're gonna draw some bricks. Bricks. Freehand. And Maleficent judging me in the background because she's like, this is what you give me? Me, the Mistress of Evil? A dragon? Fire-breathing dragon? Then I added like that broken stone on the picture has like purple. Please, Disney, don't come after me. It looks nothing like the actual Maleficent. My sister literally told me that it looked like she had bug eyes. So it's not like I'm ever gonna forget that. It's gonna live rent free in my head for the rest of my life. How my sister made fun of my Maleficent. Anyways, here she is. Let me know what you think in the comments. Like and subscribe if you want to see more goofy sculptures.